So the focus of today's video is to figure out some ways that you can counter the trophy system. We're primarily focusing on Warzone because that's where it kind of seems to be an issue, because people tend to put it on vehicles and run people over, and people are trying to figure out ways they can combat this. And there's some obvious ways like shooting it, and we're going to discuss that type of stuff, but there's other ways that maybe you never even thought of, or maybe ways to get around it actually blowing up your explosives device. So we're going to talk about those types of things in today's video. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please do me a favor hitting that like button. Goal in today's video is 2,000 likes. And if you're looking to find your way back for more Call of Duty content, definitely make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. In addition to that, if you're looking to join the community, we do have a community Discord, which is linked down in the top of the description, which we have like over 3,600 members now, where people are partying up on a regular basis for multiplayer as well as Warzone. So if you're tired of playing with randoms, that's definitely a great option. So a couple of the main things that I wanted to focus on when it comes to the trophy system is how the overall mechanics of the trophy system work. Then we'll jump into how you can actually still blow up a vehicle that is running a trophy system, and it's still very possible. And obviously, since that is the meta that a lot of people are using, you throw a trophy system on the vehicle and you kind of drive around, and that just kind of protects you so you could jump out and then actually get into a gunfight. What I've noticed is that in certain scenarios, I would blow up with the trophy system and it didn't take damage. It didn't run out based on time because it does have a 10-minute time limit. It definitely wasn't on time because I barely put it on, started driving around, rolled someone over, and then all of a sudden I get blown up. So we're going to take a look at that. And that really caused me to kind of wonder, if this thing is supposed to protect me, I want to find out the ways to exploit it so that I know how to get around the system when I see other people running the trophy system in the vehicle. Obviously, the easiest thing to do is just to shoot the trophy system. It does have 100 health, so however many damage that requires for you to destroy it, that's how long it'll take. So with the common most 5.56 weapons, it's usually gonna be between 4 to 6 shots, the same way 100 health it takes to die in multiplayer. And there's no critical spot like in multiplayer where if you land headshots, you're gonna get extra damage. So some of the basics of the trophy system, one part I already mentioned, which was the 10-minute timer. On top of that, it does have an 8-meter range, so pretty much anything that comes within 8 meters, it's gonna blow up. And the key to that is as long as it has a line of sight. And that's the thing that ended up causing me to kind of think about this a little bit differently and figure out ways I can exploit the line of sight. So if you're able to find out where the trophy system is on the vehicle, you identify it early enough, and you can position yourself in a way where you could still blow up the vehicle. So there's 3 different things I wanted to test as far as explosives. One, I'm checking the RPG to see if there's a way that you could blow it up even if they have a trophy system on, and I was able to figure out a couple. On top of that, we're also going to look at the proximity mine and the C4, which is the most commonly used item to actually destroy a vehicle. So what I was able to figure out is there's a couple different things when it comes to the RPG. If you're close, you can actually destroy the vehicle if the timing's appropriate. So what I mean by that is if you're close enough where it'll almost kill you, you're gonna blow up the vehicle, which is perfectly fine if you have self-revive, if you have teammates that can save you, because at the end of the day, the goal is to take out the vehicle. If you're playing solos, you better have self-revive. But if you're playing with your teammates, if the vehicle gets close enough to you, what will happen is you can actually blow it up with an RPG, and it'll kind of look like a suicide where you basically down yourself and ends up wiping the other enemy team that would be on the vehicle. So that's the straightforward standard way to do it. In addition to that, if they happen to put the trophy system at the front, you dodge them. You can actually turn around and shoot it in the back. And what will happen is, since the line of sight works where if they put the trophy system on the front, you're able to RPG the back. It won't detect it. It'll allow it to blow up before it recognizes it and allows it to counter it, in addition to having that additional speed from the RPG. The velocity of the RPG is a little bit too fast. It allows it to hit the vehicle and it will explode, as you're seeing in the gameplay. So those are a couple different ways. Obviously, that one's the better of the 2 ways because you will still be alive, but it's gonna be a little bit trickier to hit a moving object, whereas the other one, point blank range, if you treat it like a suicide mission, you will still be able to destroy the vehicle, but you will take it down. The next one I wanted to check was the proximity mine, and there's 2 different ways I wanted to check it out. One is the primary way that people would use it is obviously you would just throw it down in front of the vehicle, and then you would hope that the timing's good enough where the person literally runs over it because they don't have a chance to maneuver. And if the trophy system's on the front of the vehicle, it will destroy that before it gets a chance to explode. So it's not very effective. But if the people are having to drive reverse, which a lot of people do in some of the other vehicles because it kind of blocks them from being able to be hit, which is unfortunate because the vehicles maintain that range even in reverse. So what people are doing is they're still throwing down the trophy system where they would, kind of on the front, but if they're driving in reverse, you could put down that proximity mine, and that will end up effectively blowing up the vehicle. So that is the other route you can go. On top of that, I know that proximity mines aren't very common, but it might be a scenario where you want to start trying to carry those, at least one member on your team, if you're really worried about the vehicle having a trophy system. That just depends on how aggressive the skill-based matchmaking is, because if you're in the higher tier bracket with the highest skill-based matchmaking, you're going to end up running into about 80% of the vehicles where they have some kind of trophy, just because they know what to do, so that's what they're doing. And the C4 ends up being the third option, and what's crazy about the C4 is we know that'll blow up a vehicle. It's very strong, decent blast radius, but the blast radius is smaller than the trophy system. So basically, if it's in the blast radius, you blow it up, it will not blow up the trophy, it will not blow up the vehicle, because it'll have an opportunity to shut it down. It's not like you could blow it up before it reaches it, because let's say it has a 15-meter range, which would be ridiculous, and then it just explodes and then the trophy can't do anything. Doesn't work that way. So you're gonna have to do it a couple different ways. And what's unfortunate about the C4 is you cannot use it like a proximity mine, either if you put it in the front side of it when they're rolling in reverse or vice versa. No matter which direction you put it, it's gonna self-destroy it. Even if they're on top of it, it ends up just making it like diffuse. It'll still cause that little side damage that jumps off from the trophy system to the vehicle, but it's not enough to actually disable it or destroy it unless you do it a couple times, which isn't very practical in the situation that Warzone is, unless maybe you damage the vehicle initially first. So what ends up happening is the C4 doesn't end up being very practical, so there's not really much you can do with it. So you kind of end up with your options of the RPG, which is a very good option. You can get back to the RPG spam maybe once the meta shifts after the weapon balance update, keeping in mind that the trophy system will deflect 3 items. So if your team just wants to spam it, knowing that, hey, you know what, they got a trophy, let's all spam 4 nades, and then it can't do everything, and then throw the C4. That could be the other practical thing. So it's just something to keep in mind. I thought I'd go through that because a lot of times people think that that's going to 100% protect you. So then they use it thinking, well, you know, that it's going to be safe, and they wonder how they get exploded. So I thought I'd go over that. And then the opposite side, if you see people using that, you can figure out how to counter it. Obviously, kind of limited on what your options are, but RPGs are pretty available on the floor, as well as the proximity mines, and then obviously people are running C4. Hopefully you did find the video helpful or learned something today. If you did, please do me a favor hitting that like button. Brand new, looking to find your way back, definitely make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.